What is up, guys? Welcome to my review of Sonic Movie 3. Yes, a random piece of content that I don't usually do. It's reminiscent of that one series that I used to do, the thoughts and opinions on things. But I wanted to do something like, okay, this is a review. This is a proper thing. Okay, so I hope you guys enjoy this. And yeah, let me just get right into it. So, of course, let me get this out of the way. This will have spoilers, but it is mostly gonna be my like deeper thoughts and how I felt like whilst watching the thing. It's not gonna be very professional, I guess you could say. But yeah. But getting this out of the way, I loved it. Oh my god, this is the best one they've made, and compared to 1 and 2. Like, oh my god, it's not even a competition, like, it's so much better. Of course, it pulls a lot from Sonic Adventure 2, interestingly enough, especially considering what the after credits scene is. But yeah, Sonic 1 obviously didn't pull from anything. It was just the general concept of Sonic, just put into a movie setting. And Sonic 2 added Tails, sure. But yeah, this is just straight up Sonic Adventure 2, with obvious tweaks, of course. But the movie itself, like, the entire runtime, I was just like, yo, they're playing the thing. Oh, the thing from that. Oh, Omega in the room with the soldiers. They had a little Omega reference toy at one point, but oh my god, there's so much references, so much music as well. Like, everyone's talking about Live and Learn, of course. Spoiler alert. I mean, not spoiler alert. This will have spoilers. But oh my god, it didn't just have that. It also had, whilst briefly, it had "I Am the Eggman" play as a ringtone for for Eggman. Sorry, I needed to pause for a second. I needed to have a little bit of a cough. I was just eating some onions, and it kind of hurt my throat. Anyways, yeah, they had I Am the Eggman. They had the song where it's just like dun dun do 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 do, that one when the crazy stuff is happening. So yeah, it did use so much actual like source material stuff, and I loved that. That's what I want more of from this series. I want actual like references to its source material, you know. Obviously it cannot take literally verbatim the same stuff because they already did what they did with the first movie and they have to stick with it. However, oh man, what a movie. Shadow's characterization, phenomenal. Obviously it actually got me like choked up multiple times throughout the movie. Like, this is kind of better portrayed than it was in the games. Like, I actually got like emotional about this, and I should be, because it is dark subject matter, of course, with Maria and everything. Of course, they kind of had to stick with like the same sort of characterization for the for Knuckles, and I mean, Tails is pretty much spot on. It's the same as the games. Sonic is for the most part also the same, but Knuckles is the guy. It's like his Sonic Boom characterization of his character. So they kind of have to stick with making Knuckles a little bit dumber. And that's kind of the gag, is that he is silly, he doesn't listen, and they made this joke multiple times, like, oh yeah, I'm going to, so when do I punch? And they're like, no, you're not gonna punch, wait for a signal, and then you maybe have to punch. And they're like, okay, where do I punch? And it's like, it's stuff like that. I am not wholly on board with how they're writing Knuckles in this thing. Also, I'll get this out of the way. I haven't seen the Knuckles series on. I think it's Paramount. I mean, it's on Hulu. I don't even know which streaming service it is on. I think it's Paramount Plus, right? Maybe. I don't even know. I don't really have streaming services. I only have like stuff I'm like pinching from my sister's accounts and stuff like that. But yeah, and Netflix, of course. But yeah, what if you're not a Sonic fan? What if you just want to see this because it's popular and it just seems like a cool movie to go watch with your kids? Well, first of all, don't watch it with your youngest kids. There were some like little kids at this movie, that I've been to at the cinemas when I went, and I feel like this isn't wholly appropriate. It deals with some kind of dark subject matter, so you might, I mean, obviously don't bring your like toddlers to it, but like maybe when they're closer to like 8 or something, maybe then. But yeah, I also want to bring up, I have seen this movie with my mom. It's become a little bit of a tradition that we always see these movies together. Because obviously I grew up with Sonic, I was constantly playing Sonic games, Sonic cartoons, I watched a lot of Sonic X as a kid. And my mom wanted to share my love for it with me, and she just decides to always go with me to see these movies. And in the first movie, it was fair enough, but then afterwards it's become a bit of a tradition. So for the second movie we went together, and now we went together as well. And she really liked it. In fact, she said this movie was amazing. Like the first two she liked, but this one like blew them both out of the water. She really, really liked this movie. So that's my like second-hand recommendation from someone who isn't very familiar with Sonic. Of course, she watched me occasionally play on the family TV, like Sonic Adventure or something. I did occasionally, because they brought me, when I was a kid, my mom got me a Dreamcast because I was so into Sega and Sonic specifically. They're like, okay, let's get you a Sega console. Obviously, way after the Dreamcast was a thing. This was in like 2010, and they got me a Dreamcast, and I used to play on the family TV, playing Sonic Adventure, and they used to watch me play that, and it was really, really nice and sweet. It was lovely, but yeah, I really, really like bonding over Sonic with my family. It's a fantastic feeling, and I gotta say, in terms of the delivery, I really like the movie voice actors. I genuinely really, really do enjoy their takes on the characters. Of course, Tails is the same, so, you know, I'm still shocked as to the fact, how did she manage to keep the role? Like, it's usually very difficult for video game voice actors to actually reprise their roles in, like, movie adaptations. So that was, like, I'm happy that it's the case. But yeah, otherwise I do enjoy obviously Idris Elba as Knuckles. It fits the character writing that they are providing in the movies, it being more Boom-like. Of course, Ben Schwartz, I genuinely like his take on Sonic 2. It's really good. Obviously, it's no Jason Griffith, my beloved. I love Jason. That's my favorite Sonic. But yeah, those are always good. And you know what? I was alright with Keanu Reeves' delivery, but I feel like he could have done a little better. Maybe I'm thinking about it from the game perspective too much, because like in the movie he doesn't have. I feel like he should have had a little bit more screen time. I know this movie is all about him, really. This is his movie, his time to shine, and I feel like he should have had a little bit more screen time. But the scenes that were meant to hit, they hit. Like hard. But there was also that DLC that came out recently for Sonic X Shadow Generations, using Keanu as the voice for Shadow during that level. And in the game, he really didn't care. Clearly, like he was just reading the lines in like his monotone voice. He did not try very hard. But in the movie, I was really happy with his performance. It was genuinely very fitting, and I think, compared to the voice actor that we have now for Shadow, oh my god, I wish they would just replace him with Keanu, honestly. But I also wish Keanu cared, because obviously Keanu's only gonna take movies. He's not gonna do video games unless it's like a promotional thing like this. But yeah, I was also shocked at the little reference to like Pokemon. Like, how did they allow that? Like, you know, when they were referring to Tails as Pikachu, like, are they allowed to do that? I mean, clearly Nintendo didn't say anything, so probably, I mean, it's promotion, I guess, and it's not like they used their intellectual property in, like, visual sense, so, I mean, I guess it was okay. But that brings me to a different point. There were so many referential jokes, like, oh, this is just like Bruce Willis in Die Hard, or this is just like that movie with that actor, and this moment when this happened, and it's like, oh man, you're really leaning into Ian Flynn writing here. I feel like there could have been a little less of that and a little more actual jokes, but spread apart enough that I was okay with it. I didn't really have that big of an issue with it. And in the same vein, I don't actually have an issue with it being in the games either. Like, I know some people get very upset about how Sonic is written in the games nowadays, with the new writer constantly saying, do you remember when Sonic Unleashed happened? Do you guys remember when Sonic Heroes happened? Do you guys know when Babylon Garden appeared? And it's just like, oh, some people take that as a bit tacky, but I like it. I personally do not have an issue with it. I think it's great. And obviously they care about the lore more than they used to now, so they're trying to keep it more, you know, intact with like continuity stuff. I also gotta say, my experience at the cinema was fantastic just because there was nobody there. Obviously, I went like 2 weeks after the movie premiered, and there was only me, my mom, 2 other dudes, and like another family with like, so a mother and a father and their 2 kids, and the entire the rest of the theater was empty, and it was great. It was obviously I go to a little bit of a more expensive cinema, just because they have like sofas there and stuff, and they actually deliver food to you like on a plate, and it's really good. And you actually have like massive tables next to each chair, so I do recommend that one. But I'm not going to tell you which one that is. If you live in the UK, you probably know which one. But that's the one I usually go see things at, because when I saw Sonic Movie 2, this is a little bit of a personal story. When I saw Sonic Movie 2, I went to the View, and oh my god, there were just kids crying, screaming. There was these 2 little shits that were like throwing things and screaming swear words, and it was very unpleasant. So I didn't mind paying a little extra for to have a little bit of a better experience. At least after that, I had free tickets because I complained to the manager. But yeah, I'm not a Karen, not typically, but you know, when it's that bad, I do usually complain a little bit, at least, you know. But yeah, the visuals obviously as great as ever. I feel like the acting is always really good. The humor was probably one of the best ones in terms of the writing and everything. And overall, it didn't really have as much humans. And I'm pretty sure that at this point during the production of these movies, they put themselves in the corner because they don't want to do too much with the humans anymore. But they still have to have them in there. So they didn't really. So obviously the Donut Lord and his wife were in the movie, but they didn't have much going on for a lot of it. This realistically, and then we get to the final point here. This was really just Jim Carrey's time to shine. It was his movie, honestly, as much as it was Shadow's. He had so much screen time and so much like comedy. It was great, and I found a lot of the jokes funny, like, and genuinely is very heartfelt. I felt emotional about Shadow's story just as much as I kind of felt for Eggman. Like Eggman was really good in this movie, and of course it was all about parental issues and, you know, him hanging out with Gerald. And the thing is, Gerald was also written kind of different. I mean, not kinda, very differently. He was a completely different character from the games, but I think it worked for what the movie was going for. Of course, it didn't have the Bio Lizard either. It was completely different in terms of, you know, what the villain's motivations were. But obviously the ending was as well, like, oh my god, Live and Learn and Super Sonic and Super Shadow just going crazy. Oh man, I was so giddy, and I was like, you know, bumping my mom, saying like, Mom, they're playing the music from the game. Did you know? Did you hear this when I was playing the game? And she's like, yeah, that's nice, honey, that's nice. But though I gotta say, the way they defeat Gerald was a little fecal funny, if I gotta say. They poke him in the ass. There's a straight up audible sound effect of a fart, and he just gets fried in the electrical current. Sorry, I paused there for a second by accident. And there's just like a fly flying into like an electrical net sound effect. Like, that was so I found it funny. I did find it funny, but I found it was kind of like ah, this is such a serious scene, and that's what happens. Okay, that's fair enough. But yeah, I guess I'll just go over like the finale now, or like the post finale. Obviously, the ending is phenomenal. It's very heartfelt, and it's obviously it ends where it began with the birthday party, and the after credits. It's very interesting how they're doing this. So obviously, the biggest spoiler that there is about this movie is that Amy is gonna be in the next one, and it's gonna be about Sonic CD. Now, how much from Sonic CD are they gonna pull? Are they gonna pull, obviously, Little Planet? What else are they gonna pull? Obviously, they already pulled Metal Sonic, and I really like the Metal Sonic design. It's literally 1-to-1 from the games, but I'm a little iffy on the fact that there's multiple Metal Sonics. Like, I feel like it should just be one. But what sort of story are they gonna pull as well? Are they gonna pull anything from Sonic? The Sonic OVA. I would love to see some Sonic OVA action, like include the weird society in the clouds, include some craziness. That would be like insane. I feel like every movie merging a lot more elements from the games would be a fun element to play around with for the movies. And of course, well, as much as we're gonna, and obviously the thing after the final credits, because there's like 2 after credits scenes. There's the mid credits after the first one where you see Amy, and I'm really excited to see my girl Amy. She's very pretty. Like, they made her really, really gorgeous. Her model for the movie. But the after credits shows Shadow alive, picking up his inhibitor ring, which was great. And also the inhibitor ring scene. Oh my god, the fact that they referenced that from Sonic 06, I loved that so much. It was so good. But yeah, my hopes now for the movie. Obviously, they're gonna do Sonic CD. We'll see what they pull from in terms of Sonic OVA and Sonic CD. But after that, I beg you, please make a Silver one. Make a movie with Silver. I love Silver to death. Silver is one of my favorite Sonic characters. For a while, he was my favorite, but obviously, I kind of always go back to Sonic. Sonic is always like my number one. But Silver, oh my god, I used to have a Silver profile picture on like all my socials for a long time when I was younger. I just need to hear Dreams of Absolution in the theater. I need to hear an orchestrated movie version of that. I love that song so much. And I saw a recent interview as well with Ben Schwartz, where he was asked by one of the other guys, oh, my daughter really likes Silver. I would love if you guys did something with Silver. And he's like, maybe we will. So I'm very optimistic, and I'm really hopeful that that is gonna be what's gonna happen. We're gonna have a Silver movie. We're gonna have a year of Silver, and it will end with a Silver game. We're not gonna have obviously Silver generations like with Shadow, but I'm expecting to have something to tie into that on the game end. And realistically, we're long overdue a Silver game of some sort, because he's been so neglected. He's been so discarded, and whenever he is introduced in the games, like in Forces, it's so bad. It's so, like, you shouldn't even be here, let alone act so bad. Like, he's just a fodder that's just there just to throw away a line or two, and he just disappears afterwards. It was bad in the games recently, but hopefully that will motivate better writing and better characterization in the future. But of course, this is where I'm gonna call this. Just short of the 20-minute mark. What did you guys think? What's your opinions on the movie? What did you think when you were watching it? Did you feel like me? Were you so excited that you were like going giddy and going crazy and saying, yo, it's the moment, it's the thing? Please let me know. And also, obviously, like, comment, subscribe, dislike it if you dislike it, and let me know if you like this sort of content. I would like to make more of this sort of stuff. I actually do enjoy rambling on and on about things I like, so, if you like this, please let me know. And yeah, obviously, follow me on all my socials and support me on Ko-Fi. But yeah, thank you guys very much for watching, and I'll see you all later. Bye-bye!